Welcome back, everybody. Uh, we are about to start our next run, which is Atlantis. And yeah, without further ado, take it away.
Hello, I'm player game SK or Mikey, whichever you prefer. And this is Disney's Atlantis The Lost Empire for PS1. I'm gonna be doing 100%, and yeah, there's like a 6-minute tutorial level at the start, so I guess you can start the game and just talk through that. So, am I giving a countdown or do I just
Yes.
start?
Yeah, you give a countdown.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go. So, yeah, the first level is kind of just also, yeah, get ready for uh, not very enjoyable audio. That's PS2 fast disk speed doing its thing. It speeds up loads, but does this to the dialogue. But it's only really noticeable in this level because you don't really like or like there's pretty much no other unskippable dialogue anywhere. So yeah, and yeah, basically we're just following along with the moves that Whitmore's showing to us. Nothing really like overall this category is not gonna be very like trig heavy or anything because we need to get collectibles and stuff, and like most tricks in this game involve out of bounds skipping through levels and stuff, which you obviously can't get collectibles when you go out of bounds. So there's like two levels that have out of bounds routes, but uh, that's it. So yeah, it's gonna be a little on the chill side, I would say. I have prepared the backup saves for the two levels though, because unfortunately this game doesn't have an option to go back to the level select or anything. So, like, if I happen to soft log, I have to go to the main menu. So, just in case something happens, I prepared backup saves. Okay, so getting some. Basically, I was like the letters I was getting that like popped up at the top of the screen were the collectibles. It's basically the Atlantean symbols for Atlantis. And when you get all of them, you unlock the intro cutscene for the level into the bonus features. And there's also green crystals, which there's one of them in each level. And yeah, we'll get the one for this level at the very end. So just gotta get through some more dialogue. Uh, hmm. Is there anything to be said while we wait for the dialogue?
Sure. So, for the people who do not know, this is a charity event, and we are raising money for Save the Children. This is a charity that provides humanitarian support to children all over the world. It is a great cause. All donations will go directly to the charity, and we appreciate everything that anybody has donated or will donate.
On time, just have to combine the key a little bit more dialogue and we'll get to actual gameplay. So yeah, I basically just grabbed two pieces of a key and just like smashed them together and made a usable key, which technically you would only need the bottom part to like use the key if you really think about it. Like the top part isn't really necessary, but who am I to tell? Anyway, getting some more collectibles. I have to remember because I've played a lot of all levels and any percent recently, so when I was doing practice, I was actually forgetting about some of the collectibles. So hopefully that's not gonna happen during this run. Okay, got the boomerang, which is gonna be Milo's weapon for the rest of the game. And yeah, now after this we can leave through that elevator, but we are still missing a few more collectibles that we need to get in a part that wasn't accessible earlier, so we need to go back down here. Okay, well, this part was accessible earlier, but this thing wasn't. So now here's like a boomerang shooting range, but it's not a 100% requirement. It's just like you can beat Whitmore's score if you want, but it doesn't really give you anything. So yeah, that's the first level done. Now, okay, there's gonna be some auto scrollers, but no more unskippable dialogue at the very least. So yeah, this level has an interesting trick in any percent that like made the category. Okay, I instantly skipped that cutscene. That was wasn't expecting that because normally you have to wait like a little bit. Have the barrel, Winnie, please. You have to wait a little bit till it like Rourke starts, the guy that's standing in front of the door here, till he starts talking, and then you can skip it. But if you hit like a good spot there when entering the room, you can just skip it instantly. So yeah, it was cool. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it was nice to see anyway. To the side here, and yeah, this is mainly just gonna be like, as I said, there's not gonna be too many. There's gonna be some tricks, kind of, but not like insane kind of out of bounds stuff and whatnot, like you would see in any percent. I just like wanted to, because I haven't done 100% in like an event before. So I was like, gotta give Hando some love every now and then. Can't just, because usually I like to do all levels because it's like it's basically any percent, but you don't skip two whole levels. So it's like a cool category to show off the game, but you know, there's cool stuff in Hando as well. So yeah, might have noticed that I'm switching characters around because like obviously there's stuff that like I blew up the boxes with Winnie because he has like grenades, dynamite, stuff like that. Then Audrey is like a mechanic. So I fixed the guns with her for the submarine that we are in right now. And yeah, Milo is just he's the main character, so you're gonna see him the most. Okay, for some reason the handle for this door was down there. God knows how it got there, but it was. Okay, I forgot about this cutscene. This is this is an unskippable piece of dialogue that I forgot about. I'll be honest. More collectibles. And damage abuse through this. So, because this game usually like uh, isn't too harsh with damage, I would say. Like I have HP, which you could see I took 10 damage and I still have 40. And if you lose all of that, you only then you lose a life, which I think I started with like 4 or 5. Not too sure, but yeah, basically, you can like fall down a hole in like some of the levels where there's like holes that insta kill you and it only takes 10 HP. So, like you, it does take some skill to game over in this game. Is all I'm gonna say. Like, uh, yeah, obviously I managed to do it as a kid, but I literally forgot how the game over screen looks because like yeah, you could see I had 6, and I think 0 counts too, so it's actually 7. So it's like it's pretty difficult to lose that, and obviously we're gonna abuse it in a bunch of spots. Anyway, that's the second level done. Now, this is gonna be like a first kind of boss fight. Uh, it's really not like difficult or anything, but uh, yeah. Hmm. So you can see he's holding the Ulysses, which is the name of the submarine that we were on during the previous level. So for some reason, like his HP is basically the amount of submarines that, like these small kind of submarines that need to escape from the big one. I remember being confused by it as a kid because I didn't understand the dialogue. I just saw like a submarine icon for his HP. Anyway, yeah, one trick for that is that you want to spam the X button instead of holding it, because you can like tell the difference between the speed of the shooting, which was found surprisingly late, but like we started doing it surprisingly late. Anyway, this is mostly just an auto scroller now till the end of the level, so if there's like anything, feel free to go ahead.
Yeah. Just a reminder that this is a charity event. It is going on for a couple more, or about one more day. So if you type !schedule, you can see all the upcoming runs. There's a bunch of great ones, and we are also collecting donations for Save the Children, which you can access with the !donate command. All of the donations will go to the charity, and everything is very much appreciated.
Yeah, so we're still auto scrolling, just getting collectibles. Some lag, unfortunately, can't do much about. And yeah, this is kind of like the first 3 levels of the game. When you like run it for a bit, they start to kind of get old. To be fair, it's just like, you know, the boring beginning game. Then like after that it starts to get interesting. So luckily we are at the end here. And yeah, now the cooler levels are gonna start happening. Still don't want to save the game. Have my backup saves prepared. So this is an interesting level because we're gonna be out of here pretty quickly, because basically the way it works uh, is that like to finish the actual level, you are meant to get a fire gem and an ice gem for statues that open like a big door where you find an item that helps you finish that level. But that whole thing can be skipped. But obviously, since we are doing Hundo, we need to do these levels anyway because collectibles and stuff. But yeah, and also the area where the like which you need the gems for also contains collectibles for like that level, and you can get in there without them, but it's just faster to like, considering you have to do these levels anyway, you might as well get the gems since they are like along the way. Yeah, this level is actually gonna have an interesting trick at the end. Hopefully I can get it. It's gonna be like 10 minutes away still, but yeah, so once again, this guy's name is Winnie. I mentioned it before. I don't know. Maybe someone didn't catch it. He's uh, like whenever we need to blow something up or whatever, we use him. because even like if you saw the movie, he's like the explosives guy. Mm. Yeah, that like reminds me that I don't think this game was very popular in general. Like, I don't really see people talking about it, like at all, pretty much, because like you see people talk about a lot of the other Disney games or movies or whatever, but Atlantis in general is just like not really mentioned too much. But well, the movie is obviously better known than the game, but still, there's actually a GBA and a GBC version of this game, but the GBA one is a completely different one, and the GBC with Game Boy Color is is pretty much a port of this one because it's like the same guys making it. So I would recommend that one, but the GBA, I don't know. I mean, it looks better than the GBC one, obviously, but uh, I didn't really like it that much. Oh, yeah, we got a lava crystal, but that's not the kind of crystal we need out of this level. These are. It's actually the second one that we got, which is gonna use them to open a door in this level. They are not that important. Okay, they are pretty important because we couldn't progress the level otherwise, but like uh, it's not the fire gem that I mentioned before. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so here we are meant to push that box to cover these fire uh, spitters, but what we can do is, uh, come on, I like, thanks. Can just like jump up to get the letter and damage abuse through the fires. Oh, here's gonna be a little like I guess it's meant to be kind of like a riddle sort of, but it doesn't like change or anything. So you just remember that you need to use every other one of these. Almost didn't take the collectible, and you'll be fine. If you pick a wrong one, then the head in the middle shoots a fireball at you. If anyone's wondering, and you can actually dodge that, so kind of funny. You can just throw it by picking the wrong ones and dodging it. And yeah, you are meant to find out by looking at the symbols there, but uh, I've played the game a few times before, so no, don't really need to do that. It rains. Yeah, so we need to get Milo here because for some reason he's the only one that can climb walls and stuff. Okay, didn't grab the wall at all. Like, ideally you wanna grab like pretty high up here already, so you don't have to spend too much time climbing up, but Apparently he decided to not grab on at all. That's fun. And for anyone who's seen the movie, you might remember that Milo isn't exactly the strongest one out of the characters, to say the least. But this game, for some reason, seems to think he is, because there's literally like a hint that tells you that stronger characters like Milo and Winnie can push stuff. It's like, yeah, man, have you seen the movie? Hey, not even sure if it's. Come on. Should still be faster though, because my HP was pretty low. And Death Abuse to respawn closer to where I need to go. Obviously, the lower my HP would be there, the better it would be, but didn't want to risk dying before I got everything I needed from there, so that was alright. Okay, grab that, Death Abuse again to go back to the checkpoint. And now we go to the exit. Now if I go perfectly here, don't get hit by anything, I can catch a cycle, but it's possible that it's not going to happen. Come on. Okay. Yeah, it's really tight. Like if literally anything hits you there, you are not gonna make it, and you'll have to wait for another one, which isn't really that bad, but it's obviously cooler to make the fast cycle. Oh, I need. Okay, didn't get a jump there. Great. So I need to do this again. God damn it! I was trying to jump over to the checkpoint there and then get back onto the platform because there's a collectible further on. Okay, yeah, that's. I just wanted to showcase what happens if you don't get the fast cycle. Okay, that that was part of the plan. Always, obviously. Uh, so yeah, once again, stuck under this, which is kind of funny. It looks like I'm going straight through it, but sure. Please, Jesus. Am I gonna make the... I'm gonna wait for another one. You can make the same one, but I think that was my mistake before. I was trying to jump over like way too early to make sure I make the same platform, but unfortunately I didn't get a jump at all. But yeah, now here is an interesting trick coming up that I'm gonna attempt like 2 or 3 times maybe. If I don't get it, then I'm just gonna do it the normal way. But okay, nice. Cool. So basically, there's like a part where there's no invisible wall and you can just jump through it. And basically, for some reason, this game's out of bounds, uh, like in most levels. You can like get out and walk around, but if you pause and unpause, you start falling through the map, and in levels where there's no death trigger, which is pretty much all of the levels except like one. Uh, you can like loop through the map infinitely. So we can abuse that in a bunch of spots. But yeah, that dev there lost me some time, unfortunately, but it's still alright. We we have a oh, I forgot to split. We have a bunch of leeway for the estimate, fortunately, so uh, it should be fine. So now we do the ice trial. Um, we or like it doesn't really matter what order you do these in, but uh, like most people, including me, that like ran this category. Not that there's too many of us, but we did this level first, and uh, yeah, I just decided to switch them because of like the out of bounds trick and what it's like in just in general. Fire trial is a little harder, so it made sense to do it first. Yeah, here once again. Yes. Here we need to trigger that cutscene because that door would be locked. We go back for a collectible. Okay, now I'm meant to shoot these symbols for platforms to come up. But what I did there was skip the first one and just shot the second one. You can easily make the jump as the platform's rising up. But then you need to watch out because when you start shooting the other ones too quickly, it'll make the ones you stand on go down immediately, as you could have seen. So you have plenty of time there, but something to keep in mind. Shoutouts to the only wolf enemy in the entire game. We'll never see that guy again. He's like, this is literally the only spot he's ever used in. That's that's always been hilarious to me. Might have noticed that I'm ignoring pretty much like all of these chests, and it's because they only contain like health and stuff, which I obviously don't really need. And there's also, but I don't think I can get those yet. But there's scoured crystals, like the white ones you see lying around. There's scoured ones that you can use to upgrade these characters and another character that we can't use yet, but we'll be using her later. They are the only two characters that can use those, but we don't use them in the speedrun because it's slow. There was like one spot where people used to use one of them, but it's just like it's just faster to not use them. So yeah, okay, get sniped. Classic. These guys are very good snipers, I tell you. a little chase here. All you really need to do is just jump like right next to the wall. There's one spot where you need to watch out because one of these icicles falls like in a way that you can't get around it so easily. It's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be exactly there. I wasn't paying too much attention. Luckily, I'm fine. And yeah, now we grabbed Audrey, so we can go in here because Milo would refuse since he can't light his way with anything. There's two characters that could go in here. It's Audrey or Mole, which is the fat guy I used earlier in Fire Trial. So yeah, but it's faster to grab Audrey before the chase there and use her to go into that room than Mole, because you would have to get him either on in that radio or climb like one of these earlier on, which is slow, obviously. So yeah, we go grab the ice gem here. Get some more platforms going, and we're almost out. Now I was thinking that maybe you could technically take enough damage throughout the level that you'd let those guys up there finish you off and respawn all the way here. But considering I'm still at like plenty of health, it would probably lose more time than save to like keep getting hit throughout the level, so I haven't really messed with it too much. But yeah, now we just go up here, dodging some giant snowballs in a second. Maybe getting hit by one or two. Hopefully not more, because they take a lot of damage. They do a lot of damage, I would say. I'm not getting hit by any of them, actually. Nice. Okay, now we can actually finish off Cove, which has an interesting route. It's one of the two levels that I mentioned that have a really interesting routes for 100%. So yeah, first off, gonna go in here, and there's gonna be this big thing that we are meant to use. We're meant to use that to dig through this wall and another wall like that further on. But it takes a while, and like we don't wanna take a while, so we're gonna take a little deroute, the reroute here. Detour is the word I was looking for. Yeah, we'll be taking a little detour. lag there that could probably be avoided by some smart camera work, but I like can't really be bothered, honestly. It's not like it makes a huge difference. Okay, and here we are meant to get an old cog. It, it's literally called like that, the part that we need for the to get the machine to work. But since we are not gonna be using that machine at all, we can just skip it entirely and just get the collectibles for 100%. Get that. And yeah, now we are gonna get sniped apparently. Yeah, I mentioned that this game is not too harsh with damage, but man, is it harsh with the damn snipers being everywhere. Okay, that was strange. Shoutouts to Science for coming up with the idea to use the compass to navigate out of bounds, because we used to just go around blindly and hoping for the best. Then he's like, why don't we actually use the compass for something useful? Like, because we would, it literally has no other practical use for the speedrun. So it's cool to see that it does have a practical use for the speedrun now. Like in general, it's a pretty useless item, to be honest. You can upgrade it temporarily to point to like upgrades, not upgrades, collectibles and stuff, but it's like obviously when you play the game through a few more times, you don't really need that. Since it's not like it's a huge game or anything that you like couldn't remember where stuff is. But yeah, here we have another auto scroller. Basically, the like there's basically a timer at the top left corner, which is like gas that's it's running out really quickly, and we need to make sure it doesn't reach 0, because we'll die. And in these levels, it doesn't just take 10 of my HP, it takes an entire life. So these ones are a little more harsh with the damage. But yeah, other than that, it's mainly just an auto scroller, so feel free to say anything if you want.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, this is Sharcom 2022, a marathon put on by the people at Speedruns who Simpsons Hit and Run. It is featuring the people who play Simpsons Hit and Run, but Simpsons Hit and Run is not allowed in the marathon. It is for people to show off the other games that they play. This is a charity event that is 2 days, and we are getting close to 1 day down. We are raising money for Save the Children, a charity that provides humanitarian help to children all across the world. All donations will go directly to the charity, and if you type !donate, you can get a link to the site.
So we are nearing the end of the level here. Just I think there's like one more collectible left, and yeah, with this one you actually need to like, because you could see me taking, there were like split roads, and you obviously need to take specific ones to get collectibles, which sucks sometimes because on one split in particular there's a bunch of gas in one road, and then there's a bunch of HP in the other road, and obviously the collectible is in the HP road, which you can see that I have more than enough HP to like just go through stuff like that without really worrying about anything. So yeah, it can be a little scary, but it's easily doable. Still have plenty left. Don't even need to get that one. I can just get to the end with what I have. This is just like, yep. Thanks for the good luck. Now, what everyone has been waiting for, levels that actually take place in Atlantis, in a game called Atlantis. Now, in this level, we actually can't get all of the collectibles at once, and you'll see why later. But we are gonna get all the ones that we can, obviously. But yeah, like this was kind of like the spot I was really looking forward to when I was playing this game as a kid, because just the aesthetics of the levels, just I don't know, I just really liked it much more than the previous ones. Might also be the fact that it like when we played this game as kids with my brother, it took us a while to get to some of these further levels, so we just appreciated them more. Don't forget the green crystal. Also, yeah, I forgot to mention, you can see these white crystals. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. These crystals that are lying around in the game. Uh, that I'm like ignoring them for the most part. Even though you can see a counter pop up when I get one, and that's because it's like they are not saved as actual collectibles. Like if I were to restart the level, they would respawn, and you don't get anything special for them. You just get like every 15 of them, you get an extra life, which is like a nice bonus, but not really necessary for us. And like we have been thinking of making a max percent category where you would need to get all of the crystals in each level once, because there are some levels that you re-enter, so you obviously wouldn't get them every time, but it's like it would really restrict what you can do, because like you could or like you couldn't really do like any out of bounds pretty much, because okay, you could do some but not in the later levels, because you would obviously skip past a lot of them. So yeah, you can see 4 doors here, but only 2 open, and that's the ones I came from, and these ones. We'll be back to this level, and you might recognize that part when we get there again. For now, we move on. Oh, it's 20s, like the title. It is indeed. I'm still not sure if it's because it says outer Atlantis, if that's meant to be Atlantis or if that's just meant to be like outside of Atlantis and this like like that's Atlantis. I'm still a little confused about that. Should probably put up like a sign or something so we know that we have set foot on Atlantean soil. Yeah. Anyway, classic collectible collecting going on once again. We would be doing a pretty insane out of bounds trick in that part with the 4 doors where I grabbed that collectible. If we did any percent, we are not. So we actually go through the level like the developers intended and appreciate the beauty, except instead of skipping past everything. Some oxygen, 'cause I wouldn't make it all the way up with what I had. Yeah, those golden hearts are lives, by the way. Uh, I, I think you've probably figured that out by now, but yeah, we don't really need those. Yeah, now here it may look like on this one, it may look like you need to grab onto the side, but you can just jump up like that. So you don't need to risk falling back down into the water. It's it's weird because it doesn't look like you should be able to jump up that high, but he just grabs onto it for some reason. So I'm definitely not complaining because like grabbing onto the edge there is not fun. Okay. It was important not to miss because I would need to take like the entire way again that I went through to get that letter. Now these guys are Atlantean police officers who like I can't actually like kill them or anything. I can just like run past them. I can technically like stun them, but that's about it. But I really don't want to get caught by one of them because it warps me to a prison, which is really far away from everything. So that would lose a ton of time. But luckily, there's this character that I've mentioned that we haven't used yet, but she's gonna. Well, you'll see in a sec. Actually, I'm just not gonna spoil the game. I would never. Funny, by the way, how like this door is closer than that one, but the order of the collectibles suggests that you are meant to go here first, then realize that there's a mosaic missing a piece, and then go back and get it, which is interesting. But yeah, basically, why we need to do that is because there's a radio. which allows us to switch characters. And we become the Atlantean princess, Kida, who, well, you probably would assume that she's not gonna get chased around by the officers, and you would guess right, because that's exactly why we need her here. Do I punch him for the fans? Wasn't really a punch, but you can literally just like hit them and stuff. And like they won't care. Fun fact though, you can actually lure him away, or like literally despawn him if you do out of bounds stuff. But that lever is made so Milo can't interact with it. He'll just say that he, like the default dialogue he has for stuff that he can't do, which is like strange that they did that, considering it's literally a lever, but they made sure that only Kida can use it. There's actually a bunch of stuff about this game that's really like uh, how would I like details like that, I guess. Like basically, yeah, you can see that I re-entered the level and it's looking differently because the spawn location changes. And yeah, now I'm gonna get the remaining collectibles here, and it's a really short segment. We'll be in a familiar room in a second. Now we could technically access the entire level, so I could go all the way to the previous starting location if I wanted to, but I don't. So we are just gonna go through the other door that unlocked, and funnily enough, this part of the level is completely different on NTSC and PAL. On NTSC the letter is there, and once I jump down here I can't go back up, but on PAL the letter is over the water and the ground is broken in a way that allows you to climb back up, which is like a really strange change that they made. That because I remember when I always like remembered two locations for that collectible, and I couldn't, like I didn't know why. Then I realized that it's different between the versions. But yeah, I mean, the PAL placement of it is faster, but like just general speed of the PAL version is a lot slower, so it's nowhere near optimal, sadly. Anyway, this level has an insane route, if I do say so myself, so hopefully no soft locking or anything is going to happen. I have a backup save prepared for it in case, but still would prefer to go without it, without having to use it. So here, one of the few locations where we are actually required to kill enemies for this to open up. One collectible. Now this one is in a really awkward spot. I can do a thing where I like try to walk off the edge, like, yeah, and then jump right back up. So because I would have to take a big detour if I fell down into the water. Now the fun begins. Open up. Okay, nice. Okay. There's a part that doesn't have a ceiling, luckily, so I can just fall through straight into the water and keep on going as usual. That actually skips a pretty large part of the level because you are meant to get like a piece of a broken chain, then fix a broken chain, and use a lever to get a key that opens up the the way you're meant to go and stuff. So you skip a decent chunk by doing that. And yeah, there's gonna be more. Need to get out of the water here. I'm gonna grab a checkpoint. Wouldn't need to necessarily, but just in case. Gonna grab the green crystal, and once again. Oh, that's not what I meant. Oh, this one is really awkward because you have to dodge the fireballs, and I somehow went through to the other side. Seemed like it's gonna be perfect. Yeah, and you can get hit like that when you like try jumping over it and it hits you. God damn it, man. Please let me through. Oh, that was way too early. Yeah, this is like a really awkward spot because that head keeps shooting at you. Okay, that works. Side is a little scary, so I'm gonna take it slower. Trying to like see the because there's some spots that can make you just fall through the map for no apparent reason, and we don't really want that because it's hard to recover. Now we want to go that way. Okay, that was a little strange of an angle, but it worked. We jump back up here. Another collectible. We are gonna be going out of bounds again, which this one isn't actually gonna skip a huge chunk, but it's still gonna skip a small part of the swimming. Come on, open up. Go. It's actually really funny how these doors can be abused, like pretty much throughout the entire level. I actually found that out by like I was just messing with stuff. Was like, these doors open and close somewhat slow. Maybe we can use that. And we did. But you really want to avoid them when you are like out of bounds next to an underwater part, because when they suck you in, uh, they effectively drown you because they force you into like the swimming animation with no way out. So they can be useful, but they can also be scary. But yeah, we would be skipping much more of this level if we were doing any percent slash O levels, but obviously we need to get hit apparently, and we also need to get collectibles. So like we can't really just skip the entire level, you know? Please clip through the left door. Or just don't close at all. That's a possibility. Thanks. You really don't want to clip through the right door there because you can recover it, but it's very awkward because the camera doesn't cooperate at all, and it's just a really bad spot to be in. So I could really want to get into that door that I was in. And like sometimes you can't really control it, so I do have a backup for if I get into the other door, but yeah, anyway, we jump back up, grab the water here, grab another collectible. There should be enemies, but they're not here because they didn't load in. Now, we could do another out of bounds on that door, but we can't in Hundo because there's a collectible up here. That one can be really easy to miss if you like misjudge that jump, or if you use Milo, since his jumps are a lot lower. But yeah, I could do one more out of bounds here, but I'm just not gonna do it because like if I would screw it up, I would lose a bunch of time. Like I probably wouldn't like soft log or anything, but if if that somehow happened, I would have to redo like a 10-minute level, and we don't really want that happening. So I'm just gonna take the normal way. Basically, you can get out of bounds, fill that fountain from out of bounds, and then obviously opening the inventory makes you fall through the map, and you can land right at the end, but it doesn't really save much time, and you can miss a landing at the end since it's pretty specific. So it's like more of a swag kind of strat than an actually useful one. But yeah, that was probably like the hardest level out of the way. The most technical one, I would say.
Welcome to the club, son.
Okay, and this is the last like proper kind of a level of the game because there's two more, but it's just an auto scroller and a boss fight. So yeah, hopefully this one goes well. Now you didn't see it, but that king, like the dialogue with him, gave me the key for that door, which is another thing that can be skipped in any percent. But collectibles, you need to get collectibles. You could technically land inside of this room when doing the out of bounds. Like in theory, it could maybe be faster, but I don't think so. It would have to be like literally perfect to be faster, probably. And even then, it's questionable because you would have to fall through the map and stuff. yeah, no. Here we have to use Audrey because Mo is not accessible in this part of the level. Basically, Mo has like a light on his head, so he just lights his way, doesn't need to shoot like you need with Audrey. So it's a little more convenient, but he's also slow and has low jumps, so he's not that convenient to use. Not die here, please. It's a thing I would really appreciate not happening. Also, you Jesus, that was scary. Whew. Yeah, I was gonna say you don't see it, but the little like side areas where I was grabbing the letters, there's actually like trapdoors that open up and uh, like there's holes where you would die. You could probably hear like one or two of them opening after I left, which is like so you can't really like hide in there for too long or anything. Yeah, basically in this level we use like all of the characters that we have. Uh, we already used two. This is the third one. After getting the mosaic piece here, we'll immediately switch to the fourth one. With this. And we'll finish off the level with Winnie. And for anyone wondering, the last slot in the radio that we never used, it's just to save your game, which actually makes like if you load that save afterwards, it actually makes you start at that radio. Anyway, cool strat here. You can place the dynamite like really far away and just walk, because if you did that with the dynamite right next to you, it would obviously hit you, but you can like place it as far away as possible, and it's still like, because you can't really place it randomly, it's like set by the developers that there's only specific places where you can use them, so it's like still programmed to break the wall, but it's far enough that it doesn't damage you. Yeah, two more levels left. Kind of hard to tell how long exactly, because the last one is really RNG heavy for 100%, because of the collectibles being like random drops. That's literally RNG. But yeah, now we have another like an Atlantean flying vehicle called Actirac flight autoscroller level. So yeah, feel free to go ahead if you want to say something once again.
Sure. As a reminder, this is a charity event. We are supporting Save the Children, a charity that provides humanitarian support to children all over the world. It is a great charity. If you would like to donate, you can type !donate to get the link. All the donations will go to the charity. We are currently at £99, so we are very, very close to that 100 pound mark, which would be pretty cool to hit. Um, and everything is very much appreciated.
Yeah, so yeah, you can see that Milo's looking a little weird in there, to say the least. Like the model is a little strange looking, but yeah, I mean there's really not much to say. I'm spamming the shoot button even though I don't really need to, but I'm just used to doing it for these levels. And yeah, after this, we are on to the final boss fight. Basically, like, technically, we are going back into the volcano, which is like fire trial, but like if you saw the movie, there is like a kind of final showdown kind of thing in like a volcano where they are trying to fly away in a balloon that you could see in the cutscene at the start of this level. It's also where the final boss fight is gonna take place. And yeah, uh, hmm, should hit sub 120 here. Uh, Hopefully I'm not gonna get such bad RNG, but we'll see. So yeah, the first part of the level, it's like, it's strange because you just make her shoot 4 of these. Is that gonna hit? God damn it. Okay. 2 damage, doesn't really matter. Okay. Like, now she hits the last one, and she fell on the ground like I don't know. It probably she got her heart broken or something. I don't even know. Like she just shoots 4 engines and dies. Ceases to exist. Okay, now gonna get him down to 1. But I'm also looking out for collectibles because I'm gonna be running around a little bit. Okay, there's the second one. That was quick. Trying to look for the... Let me damage him in the meantime. Yeah, like this part is really literally my gold on this split is like a minute better than what I have in the current world record. So just to give you an idea of how RNG heavy this is. It's obviously also depends on how fast you like notice them and collect them, because like the next letter doesn't drop uh, before you collect the previous one. So yeah, it's kind of, can't fully blame the RNG, but come on, we're speedrunners. We blame RNG wherever we can. Any excuse you can find to blame RNG. Speaking of RNG, I really don't see any. Oh, there it is. Okay. 2 more and a green crystal. I'm gonna take 1 more, so then I'll just finish him off. Come on. I'm waiting. Oh, there it is. Okay, the green crystal usually appears pretty fast, so hopefully Of course. Where is it? Taking its sweet time. Oh, there it is. Okay, time is coming up in a sec. And now. GG's. 1:19:34 is what I have here. Didn't need to use the backup saves. I'm glad about that. I'm gonna take a quick check. You can see the Atlantis letters and the green crystals at the bottom. It's like filled out on depending on what we get, and we have all of them filled out. So means we didn't miss anything, and we just fit into the estimate, which is nice. I'm gonna play the ending at least. Well, guess I'll skip the cutscene. I don't know. I mean, it's not too long, but yeah, it's like a really shortened version compared to the movie. So
Yes, while this is playing, I'll say thank you for your run. GG. Great run. We appreciate you being on here. Up next, we are going to have Kthram doing Octopath. And we are going to be right back in just a couple of minutes. So, oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, it is Octopath. Never mind. Yep, we will be right back. So don't go anywhere, and see you then.
see ya, I guess.